is watching. I see you on here. I may not be able to get to all of your comments, but I do see that you're on here. I see that you are watching, and I appreciate you coming on and just spending a little bit of time with us today. And today we're going to sing a couple of songs just to get us all warmed up. So if you're at home and you know these songs, I want you to sing along with us. And we are also going to be talking about molested development. So listen, if you are on here right now, I want you to share this video with somebody else. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, radio, I need you to share the information and let them know that the community church is on. Let me see if I can get a couple of these comments. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to take a look right now. So far, we have 10 people that are watching us, and I'm so happy to have you guys on. I'm trying to see if I can see your comments. Hey, Sandy Jones. Sandy said, where are we? We are in Baltimore. We're located in Baltimore, Maryland. We're at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center's 401 North Howard Street. So, y'all, how many of you know that this is the day that the Lord has made? I will rejoice and be glad in it. And listen, I know some of us have had a rough week, a long week, but it's all good. We're going to be okay. And we came here to just take an hour or so to worship. And then we're going to be talking about molested development, because there are some things that people are going through and they don't understand why. They don't understand that their soul, their mind, and their spirit has been molested. And we're going to talk about that. So let's start off. We're going to sing this song. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. All right? I will rejoice and be glad in it, because this is the day that the Lord has made. Amen. Amen. If you're at home, get your tambourine, get your voice together, and get ready to sing. All right? Amen. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. And I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Oh, I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. Oh, I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will lift up his cause with praise. And I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. Oh, I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. Oh, I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice, I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. All right, everybody. Now listen. See, I don't ever let anything discourage me. Music stopping, people not coming, because I understand where all of that is coming from. And I have to say thank you to my father, because see, I grew up in a time where there was no music. People kind of clapped in the church, whether you had a piano or you didn't have piano. But I grew up where we didn't have all of these instruments and stuff. So my voice is an instrument, and I learned how to sing without music. So the devil is a liar today. And so I want to give God all the glory and the praise. I want to always give a shout out to my mother who is watching, to my father, to my family. I thank God for everything. And so never be discouraged, never get upset, because things happen. But if you are doing things to the glory and honor of God, you don't worry about those things and you don't worry about people. You do what God is calling you to do. So we're going to go right into this topic that I was talking to you about, molested development. And before I go into it, I just want to have a short word of prayer, because we're gonna pray the devil away this morning, because he is about to get on my last nerve. From the time I got up this morning, he's about to get on my nerves, but we're gonna pray him away. I am going to say a prayer, and we're going to get into this topic. And I'm telling you guys, don't give up on God. Don't give up on God, because see, everything that happens to you is for a reason. It's to test you and to try you, but you got to keep on going. So God, we want to give you the glory, the honor, and the praise. We thank you today for every single thing that you have done in our lives. We thank you for being so good. We thank you for being so merciful. We thank you for being so kind. And we just thank you for being the great and mighty God that you are. And so, God, I just want to lift you up today. I thank you for being with me. I thank you for everything that you have allowed me to go through, the struggles, the trials, the tests, because they have made me who I am today, and they have me standing right here where you always wanted me to be. So thank you, Lord. And as we talk about this topic, molested development, I pray the souls will be touched, healed, and delivered in Jesus' name. Amen. So listen, everybody, make sure that you tell somebody that we're on and we are talking about this topic, molested development, because I don't know if you know, but we are in the very last days. And see, this is why I decided that I wanted to do a community church. Ain't nobody paying me to be here. Ain't nobody asked me to do this but God. And we have to get back to God. We have to understand why we act the way we do. Why are we feeling the way that we are feeling? So when we think about everybody, that I am doing a live streaming, do not call me right now. I'm doing a live streaming. Please do not call. Thank you. Um, So if you are outside of the building, let me say this real quick. If you are outside of the building, please come around to the side door. You'll see some glass doors. Walk around to the side door and come downstairs, and you'll be able to see us in, this is called the vault. You'll be able to see us down here. So anyway, back to what I was saying, everybody. When you think about the word molested, oftentimes when we think about that, we think about molesting, being molested. We think about that word, and to us, the big thing that comes to our mind is that we start thinking about somebody being touched. And yeah, that's true. That is so true. I spoke to you guys last week and I talked about being molested. I talked about how it felt. I talked about the place and the space that it put me in. I talked about how it had changed me into being probably not the person that. Well, I will say this. I thought I wanted to be one way growing up, but because I was molested, it turned me into a whole nother person, a whole nother being. So when we think of the word molested, we start thinking about molested development. Molested, when somebody is molested, that means they've been touched. Yes, absolutely. They have been touched. And so today I want to ask you the question, who touched you? Because we're going through a time right now where people have been touched. And not just physically, where somebody has had their hands on you and they didn't have permission to touch you. I'm talking about people have been touched in a way that it is causing them to lose their mind. And I live in the city of Baltimore, and I can name certain streets in Baltimore that you can drive around, that you can walk around to, and people literally look like zombies. You have people who are standing up or supposed to be standing up. And they're so high, they start leaning over and they don't even fall down. They don't even know where they are. They don't even know what's going on. And sometimes I'm wondering to myself, who touched them? What happened in their life that caused them to get to this point where they're standing on a corner and they don't know who they are, where they are, or what they're doing? Who touched you? And so today I'm going to talk about molested development, because when you have been, and I'm going to touch on just for a few seconds, last week, just to recap a little bit about what we talked about last week, being molested, it's not a good feeling, because somebody is touching you, somebody is on you, somebody is doing things to you without your permission, without your consent. I didn't ask you to put your hands on me, but you decided that you were going to do that anyway without my consent. And so it puts you in a certain mindset. It puts you in a certain space. It keeps you from moving forward. It keeps you from doing the things that you could possibly do in life. It will block your dreams, your plans, things that you have going on, getting into relationships, because you've been molested. And I talked about that last week. Now I want to talk about this with a different spin. I want to talk about your mind, your body, your soul being molested. Because there are some things that have happened in your life that have put you in a space where you are stuck. You can't figure out how to get from point A to point B. You want to get there, but you don't quite know how to get there. And so you have to start asking yourself, and I said this last week, and we say it all the time, but I don't know if we really hear what we're saying. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. If you don't know what happened to you, then you don't know how to figure out how to make changes. And so it's time for you to start doing, you know how we do the DNA research and we do the ancestry.com and all these things. It's time for you to do some research on yourself. It's time for you to check in on your DNA to see what's going on with you. What's going on in your spirit? What is going on that's caused you to act the way that you do? Because this thing that's going on in you didn't just start yesterday, last night. No, this started a long time ago. So what happened? And sometimes you got to take that journey in life, in your life, to try to figure out what it is that caused you to make certain decisions, to be at a standstill, to be that person who is great in a whole bunch of other areas, but in this one area right here, you just can't quite get it right. So what happened and what caused you to be this way? And who was it that molested your spirit? Because somebody did something to you and something happened in your life that caused you to be stuck and to be where you are right now. So in the last days, and I want to read something to you because the enemy, and I want you to understand that he knows you better than you probably know yourself. He knows what you like, what you don't like. He knows what's going to get you upset. He knows what's going to make you angry. He knows what's going to tick you off. The enemy is not stupid, okay? That's one thing that he's not. He's not stupid. And so he understands that in the very last days, he has but a short time. And in that short time, he's going to do everything that he can to disrupt your life, to disrupt the flow of who you can be, where you can go. I always talk about soaring. You know, I want you to soar high. I want you to be great. And sometimes the reason you can't soar and the reason you can't be great is because of the people that you have around you. Because see, when God begins to elevate you and God begins to push you and God begins to take you on a journey and he begins to take you to the next level, we have a tendency of wanting to bring the same people with us, not understanding that those people are not ready to go where you're going. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's okay for you not to grab them and take them with you. It's okay that they want to be here. They're still on their journey, but God is taking you onto a new journey. And as he's pushing you into your new journey and into your newness, he is also working on that spirit that has been molested, that spirit that has been hurt, that spirit that has been touched. And he's saying, give it to me. Now, here's the thing. Here's what happens. And I talk about this a lot when I'm doing domestic violence seminars. Because what happens is a lot of times people who have been in domestic violence situations, they get out of one situation, and if they don't get their healing, if they don't get the help that they need, they will go back to that same individual in a different way. Maybe the person you had before was somebody who, you know, he was thugged out. Now you got somebody in the suit, but he's still doing the same thing, the same tendencies, the same behavior. And so we have a tendency of running back to the same thing when we don't have our eyes on God. We run back to that same thing. We run back to that same circle of friends. And God is saying, I'm trying to take you forward. I'm trying to elevate you. I'm trying to get your attention, but you're not listening. I'm trying to get your attention. But we, in our own way, and it comes from fear. I've done it myself. You have a fear of moving forward. What is that fear? Where is that fear coming from? The fear of moving forward. Because whatever it is, and see, I can't tell you what's going on with you. Only you know that. That's why I said you have to take this journey. I had to take that journey for myself. And it's going to be people around you who don't understand your journey. And guess what? It's okay. Because the journey is not about them. It's about you. The journey is not for them. The journey is for you because it's about to take you somewhere where you thought you would never be. And so there are going to be people around you who are going to look at you and they're not going to understand your journey. They're not going to understand what you're going through. They're not going to understand your tears. They're not going to understand your pain. And you may feel like, this is my homegirl. This is a family member. This is my husband. Please remember that I am in a service right now. Please, please, please remember that I'm in a service. And so people are not going to understand. Yes, people are not going to understand that this is a journey that you're on. And what they don't understand is that you don't even understand the journey. You don't even understand that this thing is so deep and it's plaguing your brain. And to be totally honest with you, you don't even want to go through it because it's so much and you just don't understand. And you're like, God, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why do I have to go through this journey? I remember some of the things that I was going through. I would often look back and, okay, somebody was sending me a message. I would often look back and I would say, why is this happening to me? I have three sisters. Why something happened to them? This is all coming towards me. And what happens, and let's be honest, what happens is that people start looking at you in a different way. People start looking at you like you're a screw up. You can't never get it together. No matter how many times they help you, you can't get it right. You're not doing it right. People have all kinds of things to say, and you are the person that's like, no, 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 no. I'm on a journey. I'm trying to, and nobody is listening because everybody starts forming their own opinions about who they think you are and what you should be doing. And at the end of the day, you're the screw up, you're the mess up, you're the oddball out. They don't understand that there's something in your spirit that has been molested. There's something that has taken over your spirit. There's something that has happened to you that you don't even understand. And because they don't understand it, they start labeling you. Yeah, I've been there. I've been labeled. I'm probably still labeled a lot, but I'm at a heal point in my life where you can label me all you want to. Now I understand the assignment. Like I said last week, now I understand my assignment. And so you have to get to that place and see, you got to be ready to take this journey, because once you take the journey, you're going to see that no matter what has happened, I'm going to keep moving forward. My spirit, I understand now that my spirit has been molested. My spirit has been molested. My spirit is being tried. My spirit is being challenged. And I have to now sit back. And the one thing that we never want to do as humans, and I understand that, the one thing that we don't like is to be alone. And I always say to people, when you learn how to be alone with yourself, with your thoughts, with your ups, with your down, your good and your bad, when you learn how to do that, everything will start to fall in place. You'll begin to understand that I've learned how to be alone. And in that aloneness, you start seeing your brokenness. You start understanding why you're hurting. You start understanding your pain. You start understanding why this spirit in you has been arrested and molested. You begin to understand so many things, but the problem is we don't like to sit and be alone. No, we don't want to be alone. We don't want to sit down and be in our own thoughts. We don't want to do that. We want to just continue. And what we do is we put on the mask and we continue running and we continue going and we continue. And one day, I promise you, and as I tell people, I'm not a rich person. I'm just a person that's been through stuff and went to school a little bit and got some information. But I promise you that you're going to keep running and running and running. And you see this brick wall behind me, you're going to run right into a brick wall. And you're going to realize at that point, when you hit that brick wall, I need to stop. I need to take a break. I need to figure this thing out. I need to find out what's going on with me, because something is not right. And see, at some point in time, I tell people, I understand when you are in your teen years and you're acting silly. And I understand a little bit when you get into your 20s and you're acting silly and goofy and you can't get it together. But when you get up in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you're still exhibiting that same type of behavior, that is a problem, ma'am, sir. That's a problem. And that's something that you need to start looking at. Because I'm looking at some older people, and I'm speaking for myself because I'm in that category now. I'm looking at some older people that I'm saying y'all should be doing a little bit better. You should be getting it together, and you should understand at this stage of your life that you have to make some changes. And if you and see the fear will block you from making those changes. The fear will block you from really looking in that mirror and asking yourself, why am I this way? Why am I acting the way that I'm acting? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And because we don't take that look in the mirror to really see who we are, and we don't really take the time to look in the mirror and say to ourselves, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. The thing that happens is that you continue to run. And you ever see hamsters on a hamster wheel? They just run and run and run around the circle, round and around and around and around and around in the circle, and they ain't going nowhere. And so if that's what's going on in your life, that's a problem. That is a whole entire problem if that's what's going on in your life. And I'm telling you today that you're going to keep exhibiting the same type of behavior, and it's not going to take you anywhere. And at the same time, God is ready to take you on a beautiful journey, but you got to be ready to go on this journey. And like I said earlier, it's going to be some people around you. See, you got to watch the people that you hang around. You got to watch the people that you're walking with. You got to watch the people that you're sharing your business with, the people that you're talking to, the people that you think are your homegirls and your homeboys and all these people that you think that's riding with you. And you got to watch these people. I remember somebody preached a sermon. I forgot who it was. And the sermon was called Watch Them Dogs. That was the name of the sermon. Watch them dogs. And we keep it real here. Some of the people in your life are just like dogs. And they will treat you any old kind of way. And you're going to be okay with it because you don't know who you are and you don't know whose you are. And so you decide that it's okay. I'm okay with being treated a certain way. I'm okay with this person talking to me any old kind of way. I'm okay with this person tossing me whatever they want to toss me. I'm okay with that. And the reason you're okay with it is because you don't know who you are. Once you find out who you are, and once you find out whose you are, you begin to put everybody in the category that they need to go into. I had people that have been in my life, they're in certain categories. Don't call me, don't come near me, you're dismissed, I don't want to be bothered with you. All of them have a category, and they are outside of my boundary line. You're not allowed to come close to me. Because what you bring to me is not feeding me. What you bring to me is not edifying me. What you bring to me is not lifting me up. What you're bringing to me is something that's tearing me down. What you're bringing to me is something that's making me empty out. Anybody that comes into your life should be a person who is depositing something into your life. If I go to my bank account, which I did a few weeks ago, I was really mad at them. If I go to my bank and every time I put something in there, I go and look at my account, I'm thinking I put in $100, but in my account, I keep seeing a withdrawal, and I'm not doing a withdrawal. I'm going to have a problem with that bank. And I'm going to speak up to that bank, and I'm going to let them know, y'all better put that money back in my bank account or it's going to be a problem. And that's what we all want to do because that's our money. But we value money and things more than we do our own life. So we will let people come in and do what they want to do to us. We will let people come in and just deposit and pour on us whatever they want to pour on us, and we're okay with it. We're okay with it. I want you to get to the point that you start standing in front of that mirror and you start saying, hey, you right there, you're important. You are worth so much more than what you're receiving. Because as you begin to move and elevate, and this is the part that I want you to understand. When we talk about molested development, again, when I say molested, we start thinking about somebody put their hands on you. No, that's true. But there are people who are walking around and their spirit has been molested. Their soul has been molested. Their mind has been molested. And when you are molested, as I have been, there are certain places in your life where you become stuck. And I shared this with you last week. I know from being molested, there's certain places in my life that I'm stuck. I don't play with men. You know, that's why I don't date, because I don't play with you. Because the first time that I think that you're trying to molest my spirit or my body, I might put my hands on you, and I'm trying to go to heaven. So I don't get myself caught up like that. You know, I try to just stay on the straight and narrow and wait for Jesus to build a man. And if he don't build him, I'm good. But you got to understand your spirit. You got to understand what that molestation has done to you. For example, I know people who have grown up in broken homes. I counsel a lot of people, and there are some things that I have not experienced in my life because I didn't grow up in a broken home. But I counsel some people who have grown up in a home where both parents were on drugs, inattentive, and these people who are now adults, they were children and they had to figure out how to raise themselves. You think their spirit has not been molested? You think that has not affected them in their adult life? Because children are not supposed to be here trying to figure out how to eat, trying to figure out how to keep the lights on, trying to figure out how to keep mommy and daddy from being cracked out. That's not their job. That's not their assignment. But because that was placed on them, as they continue to grow, and as a child, they don't know how to process all of that. So that carries on into your adult life, and you may become that person. You may be acting up. You may be doing some things, and you don't understand that your spirit was molested when you were a kid. And that's the thing that we don't talk about. When I'm counseling people, I never start from today. I never start from yesterday. We go all the way back to when you were a child. Because I can blame me getting married at 22, all I want, on me getting a divorce. But some of the stuff that happened to me, he wasn't around. That happened to me when I was a kid. And because I didn't know how to handle it, I carried that over into my adult life. And I started exhibiting some behaviors. And and this is why I said to you all last week too, make sure that you have accountability people in your life. Because if you don't have people that you are accountable to, that's another thing. You're going to just be running wild as an adult. I have people that I'm accountable to, that I will pick the phone up, that I will call, that I will text them, because I will tell them this is a crazy day. And I have the spirit of putting my hands on people, and this might be one of those days. So I need you to pray me through. And they will get on the phone and they will talk to me. They will pray with me. You need to have those kind of people in your life. Those are your ride or die people, the people who are going to be in your life telling you when you're right, when you're wrong, get it together, get yourself together. You need to be here, you need to be there. No, that's not the right place to be. You got to have those kind of people in your life. Now, when you are on this journey, because again, this is why I started the community church. I didn't start the community church to have a big crowd because I was standing here and talk by myself. I started this community church for people who want to go on their journey, for people who are ready to go to the next level in their life. If you're not ready to go on the next level in your life, this is probably going to be a waste of your time. This is for next level people who want to know God on another level, who want to live life on another level, despite everything that you've gone through, your mess ups, your screw ups, your jail, your drugs, your fornication, your adultery. I'm one of them adulterers, that I wear the letter A. Whatever it is that you've gone through, I want to help you to forget all of that. Forget all of that. You can actually move to the next level with all of those things going on in your life. And this is why I love radio and I love being in front of the camera. I said, God is so good because you knew that I needed to sit there and get some people on the screen. You knew that. So you were preparing me for that. And I am so thankful and so grateful because for all of the people that talked about me and that said that she's doing this and the crazy thing about it, I was doing some things that I didn't even know I was doing. I was kind of intrigued, like, wow, I'm doing that. I didn't know I was doing that. I was kind of wondering because everybody had a story about what I was doing. I remember that so well when I was going through my divorce. And they didn't understand how bad my mind had been molested. They didn't understand how bad my spirit had been molested. They didn't understand how bad my heart was hurting and had been molested. I didn't want a divorce. I was never thinking about that day of standing in front of a judge saying, Judge, I just want my name back. I never wanted that, but it was happening in my life, and it was happening in real time, and it was happening fast. And when you don't have people around you who swarm around you like an eagle with their wings to cover you, to say, I got you, and I'm going to walk you through this, it's a tough, hard journey. That's why I stand in front of the camera the way I do now. And I dare you to say whatever you want to say, because we're going to have it back and forth. We're going to talk about it, because I've walked the walk and I've talked it, I've lived it, and I'm here. And so there's not too much that you can fight me on because I've done the good, bad, and the ugly. So when I stand in front of the camera, I'm open enough to say, yes, I've done that. Yes, I've been there. Pastor's daughter and all, I have been there. I have made some stupid mistakes, but everything that I have done has brought me here. And the whole while, I left God. I walked away certain times, but he never left me because he knew one day I would be standing right here doing this. And he knew one day I would be on a journey of greatness. And so that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes you got to forget about everybody that's around you. And you got to be ready to say, I'm prepared to go on this journey. Come hell or high water, I am going on this journey. And I decided that I was going to take this journey. Some people laughed. Some people thought it was funny. Some people still called me crazy. Church members, she committed adultery. Well, what did y'all commit? Did y'all do anything? Did y'all do anything? I remember saying that one time we were at a board meeting, and I was always being called to the board meeting anyway because I was wearing nail polish. I wasn't wearing earrings at the time, but I was wearing makeup, and that's a no-no at my church. And I remember being called to the board meeting, and one of the sisters said, well, Charlene shouldn't be up there doing the praise team because she wears makeup and she wears nail polish, and they were just going down the list. Now, I'm telling you this story not to talk about them, but to say this. They didn't understand. It didn't have anything to do with makeup, nail polish. I was actually singing and praising God, and I was in pain. I was actually leaving the church, driving in my car, crying all the way to the door because I knew that I was going to have some hell to face when I walked in the door because I was still married. They didn't understand all of the pain that I was going through, and yet I was trying to play that role and wear that mask of I'm good. But all they saw was she has on makeup and she's wearing nail polish. So I remember the one day I wasn't in my right frame of mind, y'all. I stood up at the board meeting and I said, Sister, so I'm wearing makeup, I'm wearing nail polish, I got on color nail polish, you got on clear nail polish. So tell me what the difference is. I have on makeup, I wear a little color in my eyes sometimes. You have on foundation. I'm a woman, I can see it. So tell me what the difference is. And I meant to stand up and embarrass her. I meant to stand up and act like a fool at the board meeting. I meant to do that because I was just in that frame of mind where I couldn't take it anymore. And I was thinking back then, at what point do we get to the place where we say that we're Christians and I'm here for you, sister, and I'm here for you, brother, but you ain't really here. You ain't really here because if I'm not doing what you want to do and if I'm not walking the straight and narrow, then it's a problem. and we start criticizing. So I became the person that was the problem person. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Yeah, I'm coming right up there with my nail polish on and my makeup, and I'm going to sing to the glory of God. And if you have a problem with it, then you can sit down and not sing. And there were times when people didn't participate, they didn't stand up, but that's your relationship with God. That has nothing to do with me. And so as I began to grow, I began to learn that, you know what, on this journey, I have to keep my eyes on God. On this journey, I can't look at anybody else. On this journey, what you do is what you do. On this journey, what he's called me to do, I'm going to do. And guess what, y'all? He has blessed me immensely. Once I took my eyes off of people, the church, the pastor, who's saying this, who's saying that, God began to open doors. And I'm talking about open doors wide. I didn't even have to turn the doorknob. I just walked into them and they were open. That's how great and powerful God is. But he's telling you that you got to let go. You got to let go of some people in your life that ain't taking you nowhere. You got to let people go in your life who do a lot of this. They do a lot of talking. But then when it's time to take the journey, they can't walk with you. They can't be with you. They chit-chatting behind your ear. They saying all kinds of stuff. And meanwhile, you're trying to go forward in this journey, and you're trying to figure out why you can't go forward. You're trying to figure out why some doors may not be opening, not understanding that the people that you're walking with may be the ones that's making sure that the doors stay closed. Because there's some people in this life that have a spirit of hate. And you got to understand that spirit of hate. That is a spirit of molestation. And that's what I'm talking about. Molested development. People got a hating spirit. They're molesters. We talk about child molesters and child predators, and this person is a molester, that person. A hater is a molester. Because a hater will try to they don't try. They do try. They try real hard to disrupt your spirit, your life, and everything that you're doing. Oh, they tried me all week this week, but y'all don't understand who I serve. So you can try me. That's not a problem. I want you to try me because I want everybody to see that as you try me, I'm going to continue to soar. I'm going to continue to grow, not because of who I am, as I keep saying, but because of whose I am. Amen. Whose I am. See, I'm God's daughter. I'm his daughter. And I remember when I talked about starting a community church, instead of people saying, first word you should have been saying was, I'm going to pray for you. I hope everything goes well. God bless you. I had people, well, is she going to do that on Saturday? Is she going to be talking against the church? See, that kind of spirit, I'm not even going to answer your question. I'm going to let God deal with you because everybody listen to this. As you begin to answer questions that don't make no sense, you're wasting God's time, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting time when you could be doing something else. I'm not going to turn around and answer everybody who's saying, well, why is she doing this and why is she doing that? The one thing I will say to you is, why are you not doing it? If you know that it's the last days, but you still easy sitting on your chair resting and you're not doing anything, that's a problem. As I said in my video this past week to all of the pastors, because I baptized y'all this week, go back and check the video. Ain't nobody paying me to be here. I'm standing here because this is what God called me to do. And there are people out there who want to get their life together. There are people out there who want to grow. There are people out here who want to go to the next level. But pastors, you have gotten so comfortable in sitting in front of Zoom, doing services and not putting your boots on the ground and getting out on these streets and helping these people that people are giving up. And every single day, without fail, somebody comes to me and says, I'm tired of church. I don't want to deal with God. I don't want to deal with my pastor, the people, the this. And I'm constantly telling them over and over and over, don't give up on God. I don't even talk about the church. I'm not going to talk about your pastor. I say, don't give up on God. Because at the end of the day, your pastor can't do anything for you. The church can't do anything for you. The only one that's going to get you from point A to point B, that's going to wake you up in the morning time, that's going to give you new life, a new spirit, a new everything is God. That's it. That's it. And once you understand that, once you realize that, nobody else got your back like him, or you keep it moving. And I understand my assignment now. I want you to get to the point where you start understanding your assignment. You start understanding why you're here. When I told y'all last week, I was telling you that I tried to commit suicide twice. And I remember the second time I was in an interview at a radio station earlier this week, and the lady said, "So how did you feel um, when you committed suicide and nothing happened?" I said I was mad as a mug because the thing was I took so many pills that I wasn't supposed to wake up. And the next morning when I rolled over and I looked at the window and the sun was shining so bright through the window that it was blinding, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't even do this right. I can't even do this right. Now understanding once again that God had an assignment for me. God had a reason for me to be here. Now, most people who would take 10 or more pills, they wouldn't be standing here today, or they would have some issues. Most people who had 3 strokes and a heart attack would not be standing here right now talking to you in their right mind, being able to communicate, understand what you're saying. Most people would not be able to do that. Most people who would be on 695 in the middle of rush hour being hit by a tractor trailer truck that turns your car backwards and puts you on the other side of the highway where the light post flips over your car and tips your car over to the side and you get out walking. Most people would not be able to do that. And so for everything that I have gone through, and then most people, a lot of people walk up to me, and I know kids especially, they'll say, Miss Charlene, what happened to your neck? Because I have a scar on my neck. Most people who were born in 1963, in the year which I was born, where technology was nothing like it is now, and they sent a baby home with the parents not knowing that the baby's trachea was closed. And the parents are at home trying to figure out, why can't my baby swallow? What's the problem? My baby's turning blue. Let me get her to the hospital. And an infant getting emergency surgery, tracheotomy, all kinds of tests and medication, and the doctors don't know whether I'm going to be able to talk, have teeth, whatever. Most people don't make it through that. Not only did God bless me to be able to speak, he blessed me to be able to sing. He blessed me to be able to use that voice to pay my son's way through school. He blessed me to be able to still have all of my teeth at 59 years old, never had a toothache. Most people don't get to live through the things that I've lived through and be able to talk about it. And so now I started around 55, started understanding my assignment. Because as I told you last week, from age 16, when I met my ex, until I was 50 years old, I was in a relationship. Married at 22, divorced at 50. I am 59 years old. I've only had about 9 years of my life to understand who I am and to understand this assignment and this calling on my life. I didn't understand it because I had all of that other stuff going on. And when you got other things going on in your life, craziness, toxicity, I told y'all last week, my soul is addicted to toxicity. And anything that I have gone through, believe me, you're going to hear it from up here. Because I'm not going to be one of those people that's walking around like, no, that ain't happening to me. I have a problem with pastors who stand in the pulpit and they haven't had any illness, any problems, any nothing. Everything has been going great in their life. I got a problem with you. So I'm not going to be one of those people that's standing up here saying that everything has been good. Everything ain't been good in my life. Everything ain't been good and great in my life. Oh, no. I've had some issues, some struggles, some craziness, seeing the psychiatrist, going to this person. I've done it all. And there's some people that know me from way back when, and they saw where I was, and they see where I am now. And so they can tell you that she not lying. She telling you the truth. And like I told y'all earlier, I had the spirit of laying hands, but not laying hands in the right way. And so God had to change a whole bunch of things in my life because he said, I'm getting ready to take you on this amazing journey, a journey that you're not going to be able to even understand or comprehend. And that's what I'm saying to you, because God understood that in so many ways. Not only had I been molested physically, that's one thing. But then my mind had been molested. I found out I had been in a mentally abusive relationship, and I didn't even know that. I didn't even know for 27 years. When they told me that, I said, "Oh, he never hit me." They said, "No, ma'am, you were in a mentally abusive relationship. You were in a verbally abusive relationship. All of those things have had an effect on you, which has caused you to have 3 strokes years later, because your mind. This thing is so deep, y'all. It's so deep. When they explained to me that even though I was no longer in the relationship, but my mind was still carrying all of that stuff, to the point that my mind only understands chaos, confusion, toxicity. And when my mind had a chance to rest because I was away from all of that, my mind didn't know how to act. So my mind went crazy and threw me into a stroke. That's how deep this thing is. When I talk about molested development, it stopped me in my tracks. 2015, 2016, 2017, 3 major strokes back to back. Because every time the doctors tried to get my mind back on track, I'm in psychiatry, psychology. I got all these appointments, and every time my mind started getting back on track, my mind was like, we ain't ready to get back on track yet. Boom, it's another stroke. To this day, and I say this to people all the time, to this day, do not call me at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays. You know why? Because I'm still in this mind therapy. They are still retraining my brain to understand brain, toxicity, anger, frustration, wanting to kill yourself. That ain't normal, brain. That's not normal. We're teaching you a new way. We're teaching you new pathways. Every Tuesday, that's where I'm at 2 o'clock. Because I have to keep doing this. It has to, because when you go through stuff for 27 years, it don't just go away. So I got to continue to be in these sessions every week to retrain my brain, because my brain was molested. It stopped me in my tracks. And this is why I tell people, do not disturb my peace. Because when I feel like you're disturbing my peace, this brain goes bing. And I tell people, everybody's elevator don't keep going up to the top. Sometimes it'll stop. And then I might step off and handle you and then come back and get on the elevator. Yeah. And so I'm being taught in my brain, don't even deal with that. Keep on going up. Keep going up. But the toxicity in my brain tells me to get off and get up in your face and deal with you. And when I finish with you, then I'll get back on the elevator. And so I'm learning all of these things. And this is why I'm telling you, when we talk about molestation, don't just think about it in the physical, it's mental. And because I went through that, and that's why I entitled this Molested Development, because I went through that, it has stunted my development in my brain in that area. Now, I can be the smartest person on the planet, tell you all kinds of stuff, what you need to do, where you need to go. But certain things, when it comes to my brain, it's like stunted growth, because I'm learning all over again at 59 in my brain that it's not okay to deal with toxic men. I'm learning at 59 in my brain that it's not okay to cuss you out when I feel like you getting on my nerves. Because I could go from 0 to 1,000 real quick. But because of the therapy and because of the grace of God, I've learned how to bring it down and walk away, set up that boundary line. And if I didn't invite you over here, you don't have to move, but I can. I have the power to remove myself. Those are the things that I've had to learn in this journey to get to my assignment. You are not going to get to your assignment or the place that you want to be or all these places that you aspire to be until you start taking some steps in your journey, until you start saying to yourself, okay, number one, you got to be tired. Okay. I was just tired of dealing with stupidness. I was just tired. Like, I'm done. It's got to be a better way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get divorced. And we'll talk about that another time. We're going to talk about divorce one day because that seems to be the biggest sin in the church. I don't know why, but we're going to talk about that one day. But I decided to get that divorce and take that journey, which was tough, but I did it, and that was the greatest gift that I gave to myself, getting those divorce and freedom papers. That was the greatest gift that I gave to myself. Um, this is why I don't date and I don't give, I don't give everything up, because that was freedom. I felt like a free slave when I walked out of that courthouse. I got my papers and I am free after 27 years, and I got my name back. And so that was one of the steps that I had to take in my healing, because I knew if I stayed in that situation, even though people were telling me to stay, don't go, blah, 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 you ain't in my house, so you don't know what's going on. That was the first step in my journey. And then God began to guide my steps. And this is the thing that you have to understand in your journey. And I think when I said this earlier about being alone, a lot of people are afraid to be alone. So we busy ourselves doing other things. But I want to share something with you. In this journey, as you begin to grow, you are going to be alone whether you want to or not. Because God has to put you into that alone space. So when you come into a room, like I came into this room today, me and Miss Joyce, we came in here, nobody was here. You think that bothered me? Oh no, I'm setting up. I'm getting ready to do my thing. I ain't waiting for nobody to come, because the assignment that God has placed on my life, I can stand at home and do this. I can be on the street and do this. I can be in my bathroom and do this, because this is the assignment that He has placed on my life. So I don't worry about people anymore. I don't worry about the room filled up or fame or fortune, because He's given me so much, and He's shown me that because this is your assignment, you cannot fail, because this is your assignment. And I didn't put you in a position to fail. So because I understand that, I don't worry about certain things. Haters, I don't worry about that. I'm good. Now, so when you are on this journey, you are going to have points in your life that are going to be lonely. The people that used to be around you, you're going to find they're going to slowly start pulling themselves back. And this is the thing. This is the thing. This is how bad God wants you to be on this journey. If you don't let those people go, He's going to take them away from you. That's how bad He wants you to be on the journey. I remember it was some people I knew I needed to let go. And I was like, I can't let this person go. We were childhood friends. We did it. And after a while, the person just disappeared. Because God said, okay, you don't want to let them go. I really want you to take this journey, Charlene. I want you to take this journey. So I'm going to pull this person back. When I look at my phone now, the people that are in my life now are new people. They are powerful people. They are people who, I'm telling you, you talk about ride or die. That's the people that He's placed around me now. But He had to take those old people out. And people are good for you, good to be with you throughout certain seasons. Now, last week I talked about seasons. When the leaves start falling off the trees here in Baltimore around the fall of September, October, I can't go in my yard and start lifting up leaves and sticking them back on the tree, because they're not going to stay up there. I can do that all day and they're going to fall right back down on the ground, because that season for that leaf right there is up. They already served their season. And so this tree is about to go through another transformation. And as it goes through this transformation through the winter, and everything just dies off. You hear the word die off? Everything just dies off. The spring starts to come, and I start looking out my window, and there's new and more beautiful leaves on this tree. The other ones have shriveled up, and they've died off, and they've been blown away. And so I am so excited every time springtime comes around, because I'm like, wow, I love the seasons. I love the colors. And Same thing in your life. You're going to get to a point in your life where you're going to be looking at people, and all of a sudden, you're going to be looking to the right and the left, and you ain't going to see those people no more. They're going to be gone. And then you're going to see some people moving forward in your life. You don't know where they came from. You don't know where they came from. But they here. And these people are people who are coming to empower you, inspire you, lift you up, cover you. And they are the people that are going to take these hands, take you by the hand, and take you into the next journey and your next level in life. And again, you can't get there. I said this when I first started. If you don't know what happened to you before and you're not trying to understand it, you're not going to know how to move forward into the next phase of your life. You got to be ready to take that journey. Let go of the fear, let go of the fact that the people that you're around now may not be with you anymore. This is all about you. What do you want? What do you want? Where do you want to go? I promise you, and I can tell you that once you make that journey and that decision to let go and deal with you, your insecurities, your anxieties, your fear, your stress, everything that's been plaguing you down, the molestation, all those things that have stopped you in your tracks, I promise you that once you begin to deal with them, you're going to have a brand new life. My son said to me the other day, Mom, how do you feel? You're doing so much stuff. I said, I feel great. Who gets to do what I do at 59? Who gets to have the things that's been in front of me at 59? But the only way that happened is that I had to take that journey. I had to take the people laughing at me. I had to take the people making fun of me. I had to take the people thinking she ain't going to be nothing. She ain't going nowhere. She's just a screw up. And I had to be quiet. That's the other thing we got to learn how to do. You ain't got to fight this fight. That's why everybody be talking about me. Oh, they want me to talk about them. And the greatest gift that you can give to somebody is your silence. I'm not going to give you my time and attention because you don't deserve that. You're trying to pull me back to where you are. I've already been there. I'm now moving forward. I'm on another level right now. And the level that I'm on does not include people who don't know how to have a conversation and verbalize words in the proper way. So I have learned that when people are talking, when they're saying stuff, and believe me, as you begin to grow and elevate, people will have a whole lot to say. They're going to have a whole bunch to say. But watch what they're doing. Because the only thing that's elevating is their lip up and down, up and down. That's it. They're not moving, they're not growing, they're not doing anything. So why are you concerned about them? Why do you turn around and even say anything to them? If I have to turn around to keep addressing people, that's keeping me from moving forward. That's keeping my eyes from being focused on where God wants me to be. Take that as a blessing. When people start talking about you, that means you're moving, you're growing. You're doing something right. Now, if I was standing here and nobody was talking about me, I'm gonna have to like rethink this whole thing. That maybe this ain't my assignment. Maybe this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. But the fact that people are talking, they have a lot to say. They're laughing. I remember when I graduated, people were online saying, "Oh, that probably ain't real. She probably got this offline." I mean, they were saying all kinds of stuff. And as I said in my live one day, would y'all please stop typing all of that? Because I'm not even going to address you because y'all want to do back and forth. But if you got time like that to write, then have at it. But if you think I'm going to sit here and start tapping, no, I don't have time for that. Because you're taking me back to a place that I used to be. You want me to revisit an old place. You want to reopen an old wound. Don't have time for it. And you have to get to the place where you love yourself so much and you guard your heart, your mind, and your spirit so much that when people come up against you, you don't have time for it. And let me tell you this in closing. I am a nature lover. I love nature. I can be outside all day. And I love birds. I love butterflies because They have wings and they're like free spirits. But I remember my grandmother, and even going down in Virginia to the country and all of that, watching chickens. And I would just be like, number one, they stink when they're in these little pens or whatever they call the chicken coops. They stink. And I had learned this even as a kid. And I would watch them. All they do is bump into each other. They click, clackety, clack, 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 eating seeds and bumping into each other. And no, and I always wondered as a kid, like, how come they so close together and they don't even try to fly off? They just bumping into each other. As I got older, and I was really good in science when I was in school, and I started reading more about birds and animals and stuff like that. And I started reading about the eagle because I was like, the eagle is not really an attractive bird, but the wingspan is what I was always looking at. And I was always looking at how high they can fly. And I started thinking about that in my adult life, and I said, this is why it's so important to watch the people that you're around. See, I'm a watcher. I look. I'll be in meetings all day and I won't say a word. I'm just looking. I'm paying attention. Because if you allow people to talk for a long time, they're going to tell you everything that you need to know. So I've learned that. And I sit back and watch. And so one day I was outside and I remember I was just thinking, you know what? Some people are just like chickens. All they want to do is stay on the ground. They just want to clack, 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 turn around in circles, nose bumping, body bumping, and they don't even care as long as they eat. That's all they want to do. They want to eat. They want to feed off of each other. They don't give a crap about you. I was sitting in my car in the parking lot in Columbia thinking about this. I said, I've never seen an eagle fly down into the chicken coop and just kind of stand around there or even try to get some food. And I know eagles, they get hungry, they want food too, but I've never seen them fly down and just go down in the midst of the chickens and start hanging with them and start eating all the food that's on the ground. If you ever watch an eagle, and before I had my strokes, I used to hike a lot. Eagles soar. Their wingspan is so wide, and they can fly so high and just look down over everything. And you don't normally see them flying in a pack or somewhere in the corner with a whole bunch of other eagles, clack, 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 and they're getting seeds or whatever they're eating. Eagles soar, and they soar so much that they keep going and they're looking around. And they're looking and they're looking and they keep soaring. And I remember saying to myself in the car that day, I'm going to be the eagle. I'm going to be the eagle. I'm going to be the one that soars because I'm hanging around some people that all they doing is clickety clack, clack, clack and talking about people, ain't going nowhere, ain't doing nothing. And I need to be around some people that soar. I need to be around some people that want to grow and do something. I need to be around people that want to elevate. You know, I need to be around people who look in the mirror and they say, you know what, you are great. You are good. You know, I need to be around those kind of people because those kind of people are going to help me get to the level that God wants me to be. But as long as I stay down here with these chickens that ain't doing nothing, that ain't going nowhere, I'm not going to go anywhere either. And all I'm going to be doing is turning around in a circle just like them. And so I want to say to you today, I need you. Last week I gave everybody a hug. Is that Miss Annette back there? Hey, Annette. I can't see too well in the dark, but I'm trying to see some faces. But I remember last week I gave you all an assignment and I told you to go home and think about, first of all, who hurt you and what is it that has been really plaguing your spirit and holding you back and keeping you from growing. So I hope you all worked on that. This week, I want you to go home and I want you to really think about this. What has happened in my life that's molested my I'm doing something from 11 to 12 and you keep calling my phone. I'm going to pray for you in a minute. But I want you to think about what it is that has molested your spirit to the point that you're stuck in certain areas. Because we can be great, we can be smart, we can be magnificent, but then there's some areas in our life where we are just stuck. And no matter how we try to get out of it, no matter how we try to figure it out, we can't. We're stuck. So I want you to go home because see, can't nobody do this but you. People run the therapists, they run the clinicians, and I sit there, I talk to y'all too. I sit there and talk. But the bottom line is this: you can do this yourself. All you have to do is go home, take that quiet time, and really think about your life. What has happened in my life to cause me to act a little crazy? What has happened in my life that causes me to go off every now and then? What has happened in my life that it's hard for me to deal with certain people or to be around certain people? I have a friend who hates white people, and I keep trying to tell her every white person is not bad, but she hates white people. So I said to her one day, you got to figure out what happened in your life that causes you to hate every white person on the planet. You got to figure that out. And only you can do that. So that's your assignment. That's your homework for this week. Because let me tell you something. If you don't do the work and if you don't try to figure it out, I can't help you. And I'm gonna tell you something. Jesus can help you, but what I love about him is that he doesn't bogart his way into your life. He tells you what he wants you to do, what he expects you to do, how he expects you to grow. But he ain't gonna make you do nothing. That's a personal decision. That's a personal journey that you have to take. Now, if you're comfortable where you are, hey, be comfortable. But you should never be comfortable in your walk in this life. Never get comfortable. Because when you get comfortable, that means you're done with growing. And so I'm never comfortable because I know that no, even what I'm doing right now, I know that there's like 10 million other things that I can be doing. So I'm never comfortable with what I'm doing. And don't you be comfortable either. So I'm going to ask you to stand up at this time, those of you who are at home, and we are going to say a prayer over a lot of things because this is a lifetime commitment and it's something that you have to do for you, something that you have to do for your spirit, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Everybody in this room, everybody that's watching me, and thank you guys. There's so many of you watching me. Thank you so much. You have to understand that whether you want to admit it or not, our mind, our body, and our spirit has been molested in some way or another. Now, you may tell me I'm wrong, but I'm telling you that it has. And the reason I can say that is because we are all sinners and we're all striving every day to be right and to be better. So we're going to pray. Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for opportunities. Thank you for being a God who has no limits. And you have told us in your word, you said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, Lord, you are telling me and you are telling all of us that we can do whatever we want as long as we put our faith, our hope, our trust, our everything in you. So I'm praying for everybody that's watching me. I'm praying for everybody that's in the room because all of us in some way, our spirit, our mind, our bodies, our physical, we've been molested in some way. And we need you to show us where this came from. Because some of us might not be able to figure it out. So we need you to show us where this came from. And then after you show us, we need you to help us to figure it out. Help us to figure out what we need to do to get to the next level. And then once you help us, we need you to put us in a position that you will use us, that you will grow us, that you will help us to thrive. And not only help us to thrive, but you will begin to use us to minister to somebody else, because that's what this journey is about. Help us to understand our assignments. We want to give you the glory. We want to give you the praise. This is not about us. Help us to understand the assignment, because the journey that we're on it for a reason. And the journey is never about us. The journey is about who we can help because of what we've gone through. So, Lord, we need you to do those three things this week. And we want to be able to come back with a testimony, whether we're online or we're in person. But we want to be able to come back with a testimony to say, I know my assignment. He has shown me what I'm supposed to do. He has shown me why I am the way that I am. And it's okay, because he's taken me somewhere on this journey. So, God, we want to give you the glory. We want to give you the honor. We want to give you the praise. And not only that, we want to praise you in advance for what is about to come. Because we already know that great things are about to happen. I'm a witness of all of the great and mighty things that you can do. And so, God, I am praying this prayer over everybody in the room. I'm praying this prayer over everybody that's watching, that you would just pour a spirit of greatness over us. I pray that when we walk out of this room, when we get offline, that people will never be the same, because they understand that something great is about to happen. So we want to give you the glory, we want to give you the honor, and we want to give you the praise. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. And so I am, to those of you who are online, thank you so much for watching. To everybody that's out here, thank you so much for coming. Don't go anywhere until I talk to you. I appreciate everybody. Know your assignment, work on it. Follow me this week. You can go to ladyjmedia.com. You'll see everything that you need to know. For those of you, I see some new people on here. Go to ladyjmedia.com. It'll tell you everything that you need to know. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your questions and comments while I was talking. That's another thing that happened to my brain. Can't multitask, but I will go back and answer your questions later on today. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and Instagram. You can follow me on all those places. If you go to ladyjmedia.com, you'll be able to see me all there. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Do what God is calling you to do. Amen.